I absolutely love Casio watches. Do you? Well, if you do, you're in the right place. Today we'll be taking a look at the 5 best Casio watches under $50. Let's kick things off with a super under the radar Casio that doesn't get enough attention. It's absolutely beautiful and looks way more expensive than it costs. This Casio vintage model is the ultimate flex watch for under $50. With a stunning all gold construction, you'll have regular people thinking you're eating Wagyu steak tonight for dinner. This Casio model resembles the super expensive Cartier tanks and JLC reversals of the world without you having to sell your soul to the devil in order to be able to afford one. Don't be fooled by the all gold construction though. This watch isn't just about the looks. This Casio vintage features a dual display. The upper watch face is the more traditional analog dial and, true to Casio, a digital display at the bottom. This dual display means we have the possibility of displaying 2 different time zones at the same time. So if you travel a lot, have family in a different country, or like me, like to watch sports from other countries, it means you always have an eye on the correct time zone and you won't be late to something important. Because of the digital display, it also means we get a stopwatch feature, perfect for timing how long your pizza has been in the oven for. We also have the day and the date which can be shown, so you'll always be on point with timekeeping. As usual with Casio, we have elegantly small wearing dimensions, coming in with a 30mm case diameter, an 8mm thickness and a 40mm lug to lug, meaning the watch will fit any size wrist, of course looking best on small. We also have a 3-year battery life and the watch is water resistant. Bear in mind this only means splash proof. Please don't take this in the shower. Although it might be able to take it, the likeliness is you'll be very sad. What we have with this model is a beautiful, elegant Casio watch, perfect for everyday wear and the more special occasion too. Okay, so if that one wasn't your style, then this next one definitely will be. Not only is this next watch one of the best Casios under $50, it's actually one of the best watches in the world under $100. This Casio watch is a bit of an icon in the affordable enthusiast world. It offers some of the best value for money and is built like an absolute tank. The Casio Duro is an affordable dive watch that rivals watches costing 4 times the price. The iconic dive watch look is captured perfectly and somehow manages to avoid looking cheap despite the affordable price tag, featuring a stainless steel case, crown, caseback and buckle. This is a level up from the usual plastic we see with other Casio offerings around this price. The most impressive part of this watch? Well, we have 200 meters of water resistance, meaning this is a genuine dive watch that can be taken in the deep ocean and live to tell the tale. The finishing of the Duro has no right to be on a $50 watch, with brushed lugs, polished sides and a chamfer running along the side of the case. I've seen watches costing $200 and up that don't have this level of detail. Of course, as usual with dive watches, we have a dive time bezel, designed for the use of timing oxygen left in tanks whilst diving, however more commonly used for timing how long your pasta has been boiling. This is where you have some choice though. There's plenty of colour options when it comes to the bezel. Green, blue, black, Pepsi. Find one that fits your style. All of the Duros, however, come with a stunning sunburst dark grey dial that plays with the sunlight and has a premium look to it for the $50 spent. We also have lume on the hands, indices and bezel. This is the largest watch on today's list, coming in with a 44mm case diameter, a 12mm thickness and a 48mm lug to lug. Don't let that 44mm case fool you though. The watch wears very well for its size. The Casio Duro is truly a very special ticker in the affordable watch world. So we've had a dressier watch and we've had a dive watch so far. Now let's take a look at something that is packed with features and has a 10-year battery life. Check it out. This Casio is packed with value. Sure, it doesn't look as good as the first 2 watches we've mentioned, but what it lacks for in looks, it sure makes up for in what it can do. This is a more modern looking Casio offering that has a lovely pop of colour but coming in an all black construction, still meaning that it can go with any outfit. The Casio AE-1300 is a versatile watch that can do anything that you need, featuring the amazing world time feature, meaning you can check the time in over 30 different countries with just a few clicks of a button. We also have a stopwatch, alarms and countdown timers, meaning this really is a little timekeeping computer on the wrist. Protecting all of this function is a resin case with a steel caseback, aiding the very impressive 100 meters water resistance, meaning this watch can go in the shower, swimming pool and is even capable of snorkeling and still keep on ticking. Even in low light situations, the watch will still work with the dedicated dial light button, illuminating the dial during the dark hours. A great watch to keep on the bedside table, so you know how many hours you have left to sleep before you have to get up to go to work. Speaking of, this is the perfect watch for a professional, not only because it has quite a techie look, but also because it can easily take the knocks, drops and any amount of water that gets thrown at it. At the top of the display, we have 3 circular screens, all 3 ticking along and showing the seconds and minutes of each 10-minute interval. Sure, in practicality, not that useful, but very unique and cool to have, something that isn't seen on pretty much any other watch. This is all packed into a very wearable case, coming in with a 42mm case diameter, a 12.5mm thickness and a 45mm lug to lug, meaning this watch will genuinely fit any size wrist. Casio AE-1300, very cool watch under $50. This next Casio is one of the best selling wristwatches of all time. This watch is so good, and it's also the cheapest on today's list. This Casio model has been worn by some of the most famous people in the world, including former US President Barack Obama, just showing that even though this watch is super affordable, it is still reliable and the chosen wristwatch by very important figures. The Casio F91w is widely known as the best super budget watch that money can buy. For me, this model is elevated to a whole new level when taken off the original plastic strap and switched out to an 18mm $5 NATO strap. This turns a somewhat boring popular watch into a proper enthusiast piece. That's exactly what I've done here with a khaki green NATO, which complements the tactical and techie aesthetic of the watch very well. For around $10 we have a day date, multiple alarms and a stopwatch feature. We also have an LED light on the left of the display. It is rather weak in comparison with other Casio models, but it will help you see the time in the darkness. The F91w is the ultimate beta watch. Throw it around, wear it when washing the car, doing sports and getting about town. If it breaks, throw it in the bin and buy another. That being said, these F91s are like cockroaches. They can just survive. My personal Casio has seen a lot of wear at my last job, taking a lot of knocks and bumps, and aside from a couple of scratches, it still works flawlessly. Now, this Casio is very small, coming in with a 34mm case diameter, an 8.5mm thickness, and a 38mm lug-to-lug, meaning this watch is perfect for smaller and average size wrists. You don't wear the F91 for the fit though. It's not a fashion statement or a conversation starter. It is the ultimate tool watch. It will politely sit on your wrist, keeping better time than any automatic watch, having a couple of really useful features, aiding and enjoying everyday life. Finally, let's move on to the best Casio watch you can buy under $50. Here it is. Almost identical in size and look to the AE-1300 we talked about earlier, the Casio Royale is an acquired taste digital watch that has the aesthetics of a watch that should be on James Bond's wrist. In fact, the reason why this watch is called the Royale is because James Bond actually wore a watch that was very similar looking to this Casio watch. We have a 10-year battery life with this piece, 100 meters of water resistance, again meaning it is fully waterproof, and we also have a dual light-up display, stopwatch, alarms, and a countdown timer. This particular model is made for the purpose of seeing what time is in different parts of the world. In the top left, we have a more traditional analog style display with a digital screen. To the right of that, we have a world map and the main display at the bottom. These displays allow us to navigate the time around the planet without losing track. The top left display will always show the home time. Then when we use the main display to switch between time zones, it will show on the world map exactly what part of the world you are checking the time for. This is an incredibly cool feature, only found on the Casio Royale watch. For me, this is my travel watch. It trumps any Rolex GMT Master in features. We also have a stainless steel bracelet with this watch. It isn't super high quality, but it is very comfortable and it fits the style of the watch very well. The Casio Royale is an icon in the enthusiast watch world. For me, it is the best Casio watch that money can buy. If you liked this video and want some more affordable watch suggestions, why don't you check out my video here on the best watches under $100.